Hey you guys, Laura Godwin here. I want to share with you this little idea that I came up with, I've been using in my leadership, and I love it so much. And it's super relatable and almost effortless. So one day I was at the chiropractor and they were having me refill out this chart with my symptoms and how I've improved since I've been going to him and all the things. And you know how they have a little pain chart that we're all very familiar with, right? It's got like 5 faces on it, I think. Has like a super sad crybaby face, and then a not quite as sad face, and then kind of a neutral face, and a semi-happy face, and then a super happy face. Okay. And then you rate your pain level based on that chart at where you are at that moment, right? Okay, so as I was filling that out, it came to me that I could use that same system or chart or whatever as I mentor, and even as I have connection calls, coaching calls with my downline, to kind of gauge where they are, how they're feeling in their scentsy business, whether or not they feel like that they're in a good place, or whether or not they feel like they're failing. Of course, I can see their numbers and I might have a different idea, but how do they feel? Because when it's all said and done, that's kind of what we have to go off of. I mean, yeah, the doctor may see something in the blood work that says otherwise, but a huge part of how they're going to soar in scentsy is based on their feeling, how they feel they're doing, right? So I started using this. I just had this little brainstorm and I started applying it. And so right before a coaching call, I would just ask someone, I'm like, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you feel in your scentsy business? With 1 being worst ever, bottom of the barrel, like completely butt in a rut, whatever, struggle bus. With 10 being the best you've ever been in your scentsy journey, the best you've ever felt. And I started rating it like that, and that worked pretty good. But then I actually kind of tweaked it just a little bit, and I did the 1 to 10 chart for a little bit. Then I tweaked it and I started saying this, and this is my favorite. I started saying, if your business was a body, what would your temperature be? With, sick being 105.5 and healthy being 98, whatever it's supposed to be. I don't even know. Anyway, they all know what the temperature is supposed to be. And it's been really fun seeing them say, oh my gosh, my business is running 104.5 fever. I've had this fever for 3 months. And I have lots of other symptoms. Like, they have had so much fun with this. Like, they have actually, as I've been applying this little fun, whatever, chart tracking system, I would say, I've been noticing that it's been catching on and they've been having fun with it. And so they'll say like, and my symptoms are, and I'm like, dang, I didn't even ask for symptoms, but give them to me. And then they'll also, the next time we have a connection chat, I will send out a text to them, a connection call, coaching call. I'll say, hey, so last time we talked, it looked like you were running a pretty high fever, and you were experiencing a lot of symptoms, and you're pretty sick. Like, I almost admitted you. And so I'll say, how are you feeling now? Has your fever come down any? And I ask them this even before we talk, because I want to go into their time with the knowledge of where they stand. Kind of like the nurse that takes I'm not a nurse, but like, is it vitals? The nurse takes the vitals before the doctor ever sees you. And the doctor's probably looked over those vitals before he ever even walks in the room, because he wants to maximize the time that he's in there and make it, sadly, income producing. I don't know if that's sad or not, but like, honestly, it's just, he's got a lot of patients to see. And so the more he knows before he walks in that room, the better off for the both of you, right? And so same with our coaching calls. I feel like that we don't need to spend a lot of time with the problem aspect. They can kind of diagnose themselves and let us know a little bit about where they are. And then it helps us maximize the time that we spend with them. It also enables us to give them prescriptions. So before I end a connection call, I'm like, okay, so what have we figured out today together? And then I let them talk, and they'll say, well, we figured out that I've been neglecting my downline. I've not been consistent, and I need to have more, I need to have more recruiting conversations. Okay, I'm just using this as an example. I'm like, okay, great. So I want you to do that for 30 days. And I think your temperature is going to come down just fine. But if it doesn't, then reach back out and we'll figure out a new plan. And so then they're like, okay, got it, 30 days. And so sometimes it's like 10 days in and they'll be like, this isn't working. I don't know what's going on. I've done what you said. I'm like, honey, you got to give the medicine time to work. Okay, like 10 days after you've like completely been non-existent in your scentsy business, 10 days isn't enough time. Let the medicine do its job. Okay, so we have kind of fun with this because this is a part of their everyday life. Everybody is used to going to the doctor, usually. Everybody understands that they have to take the medicine until it completely runs out in order for it to do the work that it's supposed to do. Everyone understands that there's a process and that they've got something that they are expected to do on their end of things in order to make the to start seeing success, or to start seeing the symptoms clear up. Does that make sense? Okay, anyway, so you get my train of thought here. I could go on and on with different little things that I add to it, but I really just have fun with this whole thing. I don't get crazy with it, but I just try to make them understand, especially in that second connection call. It's not always at the end of, I don't give everybody 30 days. Sometimes, depending on the nature of the problem, they have to come back and see me in 7 days. Others of them have to see me in 15. I give them 2 weeks, whatever. So when we have that second connection call, that's when I really start trying to figure out, hey, there's something deeper going on here that we may need to kind of dig a little bit deeper than we did in our initial coaching call or connection call. And then that's when I sometimes will throw a flyer at them, a chart, a habit tracker, something like that, okay? Because I want to put the ball back in their court. And every time that they are reaching back out to me, I want to make sure that they have done the work, or taken the medicine, or, done the chart, used the flyer, whatever it is that we've done. I want to make sure they've done that before we have another one, because like you guys, time is valuable. I have a real life, and I have a business that I'm trying to keep afloat. I have customers and downline and team and group and all the things, right? And so I want them to, and they do, I want them to respect our time together, but I also want them to understand that this is fixable. Just because you have a fever doesn't mean you're dead. And likewise, just because they're experiencing symptoms in their business doesn't mean that they're not cut out to be a consultant, or that they're the worst of the worst. It's an issue. We'll figure it out together, and they're going to be just fine. They're going to be healthy again. Does that make sense? And so I think it just puts everything in the right, well, in my mind, it puts everything in the right perspective. Okay, so I gave this idea to everyone that came to my retreat, Ignite and Empower, last week. I gave this idea to everybody that was in that living room, and they loved it. And amazingly, Rachele Pence went home and made this incredible business health chart. Okay, and it literally gives them the 5 different scenarios, or we might want to call system tracker. I said system. I meant to say symptom tracker. Okay. All right. And I love the bottom, growth hurts because change isn't easy. Right. Okay. And then this is super fun, a business wellness plan. So this is what I'm talking about as I start to kind of work with them and let them know, hey, these are the things I recommend. Your doctor would say, I want you to start taking a blood pressure pill. I want you to walk 5 minutes a day. I want you to start whatever. I don't even know what doctors say. But more than likely, it's going to be like a 2 or 3 or 4 parts, maybe not just one. Okay. And likewise in our businesses, a lot of times we can't track what we're doing wrong to one missed, habit, or one missed whatever. Okay. So this is kind of fun, and I really love that she made this, because I think that it's something that we could easily text out to our people before we even schedule that connection call or coaching call. All right. How do you rate your business? That's maybe where you could do the temperature check there. What parts of your business are growing? I love that because we want them focused on the positive aspects of their journey first before we target what needs to be fixed. What part of your business is stagnant? That is super good for them to take ownership of where they might be failing. What part of your business is trending backwards? I love how she is taking ownership. Your business, your business, your business, your personal life. What changes will you make? I love this so much. What part of your business is trending backwards? It's super important for them to just take ownership. What in your personal life could be creating an obstacle for your growth? This is huge. And what changes will you make in the next 30 days? I love this, and I'll go ahead and be honest with you. I anticipate that as I use it, some people may not even really understand how to fill out some of these parts, because they may be in a part of their business to where they're mentally shut down. I can go into someone else's home and I can easily see, oh man, this color would look so pretty on their couch. They should have a pillow this color. Or, ooh, if they would move that picture over there, it would make such a huge difference. Or, oh my gosh, if they would just add one more vase to that shelf, it would pop. I can see that in someone else's home. I can't always see it in mine. Actually, I can't see it in mine at all. I become blind to the things around me that could see improvement or maybe need to be fixed. I don't see it about myself like other people see it in me. And so I understand that as I pass this out, a lot of these answers will be, I don't know, or help, I have no idea. That may be how they answer some of these, and that's okay. That doesn't mean that they need to be reprimanded. That just means that, like me, I'm going to a doctor because if I knew how to fix it, I'd fix it myself. If I knew what the problem was, I would be on the path of, in fact, I may be at the doctor because I've tried everything that I know to try on my own. And I think we need to go into these coaching calls, these connection calls, these times where our teams are reaching out going, help, I have a fever and I've had it for 7 days and I have no idea how to get rid of it. Or help, I've had a fever. I've been sick since I started my scentsy journey. Like, I think we need to go into it understanding that for them to reach out to us and tell us that gives us such an opportunity to help them. Yes, it's their business, and yes, they have to take ownership. And yes, when we give them ideas and things that they need to start putting in place to get better, then there is responsibility on their part to do them before we talk again. But I think that we need to understand that we have such a beautiful opportunity because they are coming to us. And so anyway, I'm super excited that Rachel put my little crazy ideas into a beautiful tracker. That is something that looks so pretty, and I am so proud to be able to hand to or send to my downline before a connection or coaching call. Again, this is just my little made up idea. I hope it works for you. Tweak it, make it your own. But I really hope that it allows you and your team to effectively communicate in a way that's easy to track as you coach them on and on. And maybe you could even check on them and be like, hey, how's that fever? Have fun with it. That's the biggest thing.